any discussion regarding the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public comments. Anyone wishing to address the audience or the board on any non-agenda item, this is your time to do so, and that we ask that you state your name and address, and the meeting is being recorded for future use. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we're here about the Baker School.
Sure.
Okay, good evening. I'm Susan Trasco, 3168 Spruce Drive. And that's TRZAS. It is hard to spell. Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to the board on behalf of several people throughout the county, including many Huron Township residents regarding Bakersfield. First, we'd like to express our appreciation for the availability and use of this public space. The board is commended for the stewardship of this township asset. While the Public Works Department does a great job of maintaining the grounds, improvement of the tennis and pickleball courts is needed. Courts are showing wear and tear. In addition, portable nets are in need of repair and or replacement. This was acknowledged recently when a representative of the township stopped by for a friendly chat and joined a few players on the court. At that time, he mentioned that a contract may be signed shortly that would facilitate the resurfacing of the current courts in the spring of 2025. With that said, a case could be made for that expansion of the courts is also justified. During the height of the outdoor playing season, prime playing time appears to be from 7 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and late afternoon, early evening from 4 p.m. to dusk. With all 4 courts in play, 16 players, depending on weather conditions and court conditions, there are often 2 to 10 people waiting to play. If funds are available in this current fiscal year to improve court conditions, might the board also consider expanding the tennis and pickleball courts? In addition, might the board consider making improvements for the comfort of residents and players? For example, a covered shelter near the courts, such as a gazebo, would be a great asset, as well as more seating and or picnic tables. If help is needed to reach a goal budget for improvements or expansion, perhaps members of the pickleball community could seek recreational grant funds or get involved in some other fundraising endeavors. With one last request of the board, please continue to set the example for other cities, townships, and villages to follow in relation to listening to the public and players' input into the design, blueprint, court colors, amenities, etc. We've heard through the pickleball community grapevine that some authority leaders are not open to public and player input, and thus court design flaws are evident and players' safety may be compromised. Please continue to be the township leaders that others aspire to be. We appreciate the time granted by the board this evening to hear our request and ask that the board give this matter their full consideration. In conclusion, please consider joining us on the court someday. We welcome all players, new and veteran, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you. Like I said, the courts are going to be resurfaced in the spring, that's for sure. That's been signed. And, I've got more nets on order. Of course, we can bring down, these are all short-term things. We can bring down another table or two. As far as a whole new court, we got wrap-up projects that we already got started, and then maybe we can look at putting in another court. Like we were talking the other day, that it's the way it's been laid out with the other facilities that we're putting in down there. We left enough room to put in another court.
Nice.
So when you say court, are you referencing a tennis court that we could put 4 pickleball courts on, or just a single pickleball court?
No, just like the one that's already there.
Okay.
That's perfect.
But as far as the near future, like I said, and I put an email in to check about different other striping colors. Okay. So, perfect. We're working on it.
Nice. Well, thank you for the
No problem.
consideration, and we really enjoyed the course tonight down there, and a lot of people did enjoy it, so thank you.
And I had a good time. Playing down there.
I just have a, when we first voted for these pickle, I didn't know what it was. I had no idea, you know, and I think maybe John or somebody else said, hey, yeah, he educated me, you know, being real close. I go, oh, okay. So I think that was the first start, you know, I mean, okay, we're willing to expand, see what's happening. And now it's, you know, it's something the community wants, you know, and I know we're positive about doing some things in the area. So I appreciate you guys' input, if a list or anything at all that we can do that come to the meeting and let us know. But we just said, yeah, because, you know, it's needed. And if people are using it, that's the best thing. If there's anything worse than having a piece of equipment anywhere in a park or anything else and not have it used. You look at, whoa, you know, so.
And they use it every day, too.
Yeah, it's good, I mean, so there's possibilities, you know, but ideas are welcome and different things like Bob said, you know, input, because you guys use it. I mean, yeah, maybe someday, so it would help a lot, you know, for us just to do something and not have it the way you want it would be different too, so.
It's such a fast-growing sport.
It is.
It's great for the community.
There's a tournament there Saturday.
It's not an old person's sport anymore.
It's not?
No, the young people are
I
joining in,
didn't really
and
know.
they're good.
I walked by there a couple times and it filled up pretty good, and I'm going, wow, you know, can I watch them a little bit, you know, but anyway,
Down
it's
and
good.
join us. We'd love to
I think
have
it's
you.
down there
watching,
every
yeah,
morning.
so, okay, very good.
I can tell you I'm from Florida, and I'm like summering here up in near Yale, and these are the only courts that I'll go to
Oh, well.
in the
Yeah,
area.
these are
The
very
best
well
courts.
designed, very well designed courts. We feel lucky that we have a good design because we've seen other areas that don't, they're too small and can be kind of a risk.
And you guys don't hear it, but among the pickleball gossip through the town, court you're in Bakersfield, Huron Township, Bakersfield is like
Number one.
number one. Everybody raves about it, how beautiful the grounds are, you know, I mean, things need improvement, but how great it is. And so that's, you know, for Huron Township, what a showpiece it is.
Appreciate it. Like I
The
said,
whole park.
I repeat myself, we put the, had no idea, like he educated me. I go, yeah, that's a good idea. I go, holy cow, and then when you see what happens and how it evolves, it's a good thing.
Name who you want to use, like for a representative, that if
Yeah.
I have questions.
Yeah, Bob will-
Okay, okay.
That's okay, anyway, grab your name, trustee, though, yeah. Thank you for coming.
I do have a question. So the projects that you are doing at the park right now, what is the timeline for them to be completed?
The fitness court will be completed this year yet, and there's about a mile of walking path that's going to be installed. It'll be done next year.
Thank you.
Okay, so those will be completed before you consider anything else?
Yeah, we did, we're well over $500,000 just in that stuff right now. So, but yeah, we'll look at, we get that completed, then we'll go from there. But what's the last name, Dave?
It's TRZASKO.
10, 4, 3, 4, 12, 12.
Thank you very much.
The actual land that you talked about, there's a lot of property out there, right? The actual land you're talking about potentially adding additional courts, where is that in relationship to current courts? Is it
If you were looking at the way the current court's laid out, it would be like next to it, but up a little bit.
So in between the pad for the exercise?
Yeah.
okay,
That way, okay.
thank you.
Which is good for parking.
Right.
It's over full parking.
That's another thing we're gonna look at is
Yeah,
parking.
parking is
Yeah.
an issue.
The fitness court, I live in Marysville, the fitness courts in Marysville are never used. I've never ever seen anybody there. I hated to see that you put that in there, a swing set or something, sorry. Every time I go by there, there's nobody ever there, so I don't know. Maybe yours are probably better.
I think what comment,
Maybe people are a little intimidated to work out right next to a highway.
but I think like the pickleball courts, if you build it, they will come. And they
Oh,
came from
yeah,
the movie, but
yeah.
you get my drift, so I think that with the interest of people coming in, you know, even if they go down to the pickle court and they gotta wait, oh, I could work out or something. But it was an opportunity for, again, to get something to the residents that could be used for all different residents, and, you know, that's our key, taking care of the residents, making sure their feedback, and if you guys want any more, we're going to vote.
I love your kayak launches.
Yeah,
That's really nice.
Because they don't use them.
So one more comment. My name is Cliff Hawkins. I'm 4461 Atkins Road. If anybody on the board could take a ride to Marysville and look at the little pavilion that they have set up, that's something, for the cost of what it costs to put that in, that's something that we could probably do maybe a match with the township. I'd be willing to make a donation toward that. But with that picnic table, the way it's mounted to the cement, it's right there in the hot of the sun goes over that table the entire day until it's behind the trees.
Yeah.
And that's where everybody gathers, waiting for the next courts to open up.
So where would just, I mean, obviously, Bob, where would somebody put an area that way based on what it's at? I mean, I guess feedback from you guys, because I would no idea, Bob, would you work with you? Again, one of those things that you'd suggest, where you'd have to.
So the way the picnic table is, the pavilion would just run lengthwise over top the picnic table, and at least that way we could get another picnic table in there, and it would be out of the
Maybe like a
Brutal
drawing
farm
or some
song.
feedback.
And it's a
as part of
simple
your
structure
stuff,
too. If
Yeah.
you ever go to Marysville, take a look at it.
Yep.
Very simple.
very simple, just wood 6x6 posts, maybe they're 8x8s, but, and then this year, the gentleman that maintains it out of his own pocket, put hooks up above, like the 6-foot mark, so people can hang their bags on the hooks, that way they're not hanging on the fence. Put a couple of cheap rugs down, so you can wipe your shoes before you're on the court, keep any dirt and mud off the court. He's out there blowing the courts in the morning, sweeping, so they've got a lot of good stewardship out there, taking care of their stuff.
Imagine we would have the same.
I'd like to say I appreciate your input. I'm glad to see this many people come and tell us what they want, so that's good.
Engagement of your citizens is what I've been complaining about for the last 2 years, so thank you for that comment.
All right. Next person? Yes, sir.
Hello, everyone. I'm Attorney Stephen Heisler. I'm running for probate judge. I'd like to introduce myself. My opponent is a very talented former prosecutor. Her name is Jennifer Smith Deegan. However, this seat actually does family law, children's law, and adoptions. That's what I've been doing for the last 20 years. I will never say anything negative about Jennifer, but she has been doing criminal work, and it's not what this seat does. She was appointed by Governor Whitmer on April 8th, and she would be considered an incumbent for about 200 days. So what I'm asking you folks to do is actually check out the website where there's a comparison. You can actually see my education, why I think I would be the better candidate. And again, I will not say anything negative about Jennifer. And that website is www.stephenforjudge.com, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
May we excuse ourselves?
Sure.
Well, they're all here.
I didn't expect it.
My crowd left.
Apparently.
It's just terrible. I just wanted to say thanks to you, the crew here, for taking care of the mess on Lewis Drive, the tree and cars. Like I say, I'm not good at speaking, so I just want to say thanks, appreciate it. Looks a lot better, very much better, so. With that closed, I got a football game to attend to. So, I appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, all of you. Yep, be good.
So my name is Tyler Migay. I live at 1219 Minnesota Road, Lot 72. I'm running a publication called the St. Clair County Voice, and I'm trying to it says to give a voice to people of St. Clair County. I'm trying to be this, trying to get into local journalism. I appreciate I already interviewed Ms. Davis. I didn't post it or anything because that was the agreement. I didn't post it, but we had a good conversation. Just a couple questions, and I have business cards too that I want to hand out. I'll just put them somewhere. One is I'm just wondering what the master plan is. I tried going to the website, I couldn't find the master plan, and so I don't know if you guys are working on that or whether you guys have records of it somewhere. But if you could give me a copy, that'd be great sometime. The second thing I just want to bring up is I'm just concerned about the poverty rate. I've heard that, and I went to SENCOG's website and I heard that it was originally 14.4% or something in 2010. Now it's up. 19-something% in 2022. I'm just worried, I'm just wondering why there was this increase, and what led to that increase over time. And so that's just something that I'm curious about. Don't want to take too much time, other than to say that if you guys want to just inform me about that stuff, and then we can have a talk about it. And obviously, this is my time to talk now, but just wanted to let you know. And also, I'm also going around the county, not just here. I do live in Huron Township, but I am going to Yale. I spoke to the mayor of Algonac, Mr. Rocky Gillis. So I am going around the county. So, but I just thought I would ask you a few questions and just spread awareness of what I'm doing. So thank you.
Feel free to call me if we can set up, if you want to meet with me one-on-one like you did with Ms. Davis.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Next. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. My name is Warren Head, and I'm here just to introduce myself to the board and citizens here in Fort Huron. I lost the primary for sheriff, and I'm now currently on a campaign for write-in for sheriff. I don't give up easy. I don't quit. I still think the sheriff department needs a lot of help. I worked there for 30 years. I know a lot of the men, so I just ask that with your help as a write-in candidate, November 5th, I have a lot of good things. I have some staff together already that we're going to implement a lot of new things in there. So with your assistance, the citizens here in Fort Huron Township, I'd ask that you consider me as a write-in candidate for sheriff.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Sure. So, I've been going around knocking on doors. I knocked on yours the other day and you didn't answer.
I wasn't home.
Oh, your wife was
fishing.
drawing the cars in the driveway.
I was fishing.
Okay, so I've been out knocking doors, and it's been very interesting. Because of this lady here, I went to Chestnut Street. I was checking that out, and I went door knocking there on Saturday. And there is, as you go to the corner of Chestnut, there is a dumpster that's been there forever. People tell me that they have a lot of homeless people rifling through this huge dumpster. They have animals there, and they would like to have it removed.
I've called twice to have it removed. I will call again and make sure it gets done.
And then some of the people like to cut through, where the dumpster's at, there's a trail there, there's an empty lot. And they like to cut through that to go to the grocery store. And the grass is all overgrown. And I wouldn't want to walk through, you just don't know who you're going to run into in there. Is there any way we can contact the person who owns that lot to maybe get him to mow that, all the grass and all that down to make it more safe for people who do choose to walk through that lot to go shopping?
Yeah, we can look at that, yeah.
Okay. And one last thing, since the pickleball court is so busy, the porta potties are nasty. And I know Molly gets out there, I think on Fridays is when I've seen her out there when I've been out walking. But there's no hand cleanser in neither of the porta potties. I talked to somebody else on Stony Brook, right? Stony Brook. And she told me when she was there the other day, it was overflowing, the porta potty was. It's really, really nasty. And then one last thing, I see a lot of people up and down on you did that shoulder work on Strawberry. So people seem to really like that. I see a lot of people up and down that, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, I got a lot of compliments on that.
Yeah.
They like it, so I'm
Yeah.
glad they can use it.
Yeah, I see people out there every day, and I've used it a few times too with the dogs, so it's nice, and thank you for that.
It's
Okay.
not a lot, but it gets you out of the road.
Yeah, so.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Well, I guess I'm the last one. A few topics that I want to bring up. The first one, Carol Miller, Randolph in Fort Huron Township. You're all up for re-election this year. At a previous meeting, a gentleman who just left for his football game brought up an issue of how he was treated in front of a peer at a local restaurant. The comment made was noted not on how it upset this man, but as well as the person he was with. At a DDA meeting, as well as the last board meeting, there were snide comments made to me while I was on the floor during public comment. I don't care if you hate me or love me. I'm a tax-paying citizen with constitutional right to speak openly and freely at a public meeting. I have brought many issues to light and have many more to give. Engaging the citizens is most important, and you have to agree, this was awesome to have this many people at the meeting giving their input. That's how it should be. While you're all politicians, you need to sit there and listen when we speak, sit straight in your chair, not with folded arms and rocking back and forth, but to show general interest. The snide comments made to me the last meeting were very unprofessional and were an abuse of my freedom of speech once again. If you cannot sit there and show professionalism, it's time to step down or change your attitude and behavior. For the members that were here at that meeting, shame on all of you. You didn't say anything when the comments were made. And also the attorney was sitting there, and we pay him good money to tell you what's right and what's wrong, and he's just as guilty as the rest of you. The next thing I want to bring up, Mr. Lewandowski, I received your non-disclosure agreement. I really don't think any politician should be signing a non-disclosure agreement. It shows a lack of transparency and hiding things to the taxpayers. With that being said, when you do roundtable, could you please make it a routine to bring up stuff that the EDA is proposing or bringing up? It would be greatly appreciated. Next, I'd like to acknowledge the fire department for their stunning display of patriotism to our country on 9/11. The beautifully displayed American flag on the ladder truck was very breathtaking. On the other hand, the township office did not even lower its flag to half staff that day. It was called in the afternoon by a citizen to lower that flag. I was so disappointed to drive by and see it not even lowered. It's really just shameful. I do have a handout for each one of you before I get my last topic. If you want to take one and pass it down, I appreciate it.
Yep.
My main topic for tonight is about Matthew Mason. I'd like to see a show of hands of how many on the board know who Matthew Mason is.
I mean, what I know is what I've read in the paper. I mean, I don't personally know him.
Oh, you couldn't know.
No, I know that. I mean, I don't know the family or the name, but
If you don't know who he is, he was a 3.5-year-old little boy who was allegedly tortured and murdered by his mother and one of her boyfriends. I say allegedly because there's been no justice for this little boy. No charges have been filed. It happened right around the corner from here in Stocks Creek Trailer Park on February 19, 2018. That's 6.5 years ago. He is buried in the cemetery behind this hall on the right side, not too far from the entrance. His face is on a billboard at Michigan and Lapeer. I see it every single day, and I cry for that boy every day. I just handed you his autopsy opinion. His autopsy report was made public, and it's very disgusting. To make this more personal for the board, having this crime happen right by this office, I've given you the opinion of his autopsy report that was concluded by Dr. Spitz. And if you notice the date, it was over 3 years later that it was concluded. He was so badly beaten all over his body, and he was asphyxiated. Since this happened in our township and no charges have been brought up, why are we not supporting his grandparents and family and getting something done about this poor boy's death? The crime in this township is so bad anymore. Even a shooting over near Robbins Court has been kept hush-hush. I, along with many others, would like this board to support this family in getting justice done to show that the board cares about the safety of the citizens, no matter the age. If you commit a crime, it should not be tolerated. After hearing my answer to the question by the Sheriff Department at the last meeting on what the plan was for the increase in crime in the township, which, by the way, was the wrong answer to say, I think the board needs to stop agreeing and thanking upper management of the Sheriff Department for what they do, but to take a stance that we want to have crime dealt with and not just turn a blind eye by them and the prosecuting attorney's office. I request and support that we have a Justice for Matthew sign be placed in the front of the Township Hall and start showing support, especially when it comes to a 3.5-year-old innocent boy being murdered so close to this office. Please let the audience here tonight know if you all will back and support a Justice for Matthew sign in front of the Township Hall. Thank you.
Uh,
I'd have to go in the morning.
we have to look at the ordinance, okay?
Yeah, I'd say,
As long as
I was reading the ordinance, yeah, I don't have any issues putting it up.
There is no ordinance against it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, moving on. Agenda items, attorney's report. Bob called in sick this afternoon, and you have his report before you. If you have any questions, feel free to call them. Engineers report, Mike couldn't make it tonight, so is anybody, everything's pretty much the same as it was. The pathway at Bakersfield is out for bid right now, and moving forward with that, and they're also working on the things that they need to do for the federal money for the sewer lift station. Item C, Sheriff's Report, are you ready?
Laptop's not really. Good Friday, so let me see.
Okay.
Maybe just directly. I don't even know.
Pete knows.
Oh, there it is.
He's,
Oh,
he'll be
no,
right there.
it's,
Somebody does.
I know there's about 3 or 4 HDMIs. So I don't know if that's USB. I don't know. And then I can scroll through the USBs. Well, that's, should be able to hit input again though. I think you gotta unplug that though.